I think Andy would be very, very clear here too, though, in talking about those sort of things. The tactics that people are taught to use is, well, what about this case? Or what about this example? Or what about these people? And being able to recognize that when it's happening as well. And I don't know anybody who's better at redirect than Andy on those sorts of things. Maybe he has some input on how you do steer people off from those sightings back onto the main subject when you're the one who's attempting to counter their narrative.
Now, which people am I talking to here? Am I talking to the people in the middle or the hard leftist?
Right, the people in the middle, but who've been conditioned to, by listening to other people. What about poor women who can't afford birth control? What about, that sort of thing?
Sure. Right, it's the response to the leftist argument, but your audience is the persuadables, because obviously the far leftist is a waste of time. But they're going to come at you with the far leftist premise.
What I do, well, first of all, the reason I ask is if it's not somebody on the far left, then that means you can have some level of discussion, even though it's a quick one. You don't have much time to, set the hook. The big difference with how I approach it is this: from, I would say, most conservatives, I assume there's a wall there between me and them. That wall is, they assume I disapprove of them, want to control their lives. They assume as a conservative, I look down on their choices, and I want to use laws that that take those away because they're not my moral choices. All right, that is out there. That's the war on women. That's the wall. And so here's what I do. The very first thing I do is I affirm the reason they hold their views. Okay, so and I do this all the time, by the way. I'll say, I just want you to know, I love the reason you're pro-choice, or I love the reason that you're pro, contraception. You don't want, well, let's just say pro-choice. You don't want. I love the reason you're pro-choice. You don't want the government telling you what you can do with your body. I think that's great. I feel exactly the same way. I want to control my own life, not yours. Or I think I love the reason that you are in favor of contraception. You don't want the government controlling your choices. Hey, I agree. I want to control my own life, not yours. And when they come back and say, well, wait a minute, you want to control this and this and this, what they just did is they just committed to a discussion. I baited them, and they got into a discussion rather than doing what the left has conditioned them to do, shut me down and walk away. So now that they're baited into the discussion, I can say, and they say, well, wait, you want to control this and this and this. I can say, oh, nobody supports all choices. If I want to steal that woman's purse, you guys have heard this one before, you wouldn't support that, right? If I want to kill that guy over there, you wouldn't support that. So the question is, how do we know which ones to support? On the left, they make it real simple. Everything we like, we want to make into everybody's laws. On the right, we use one standard. We support every individual choice that doesn't take away someone else's choice. Now, for some people, they think that abortion takes away the choice of the unborn. For other people, they don't think the unborn are people yet. Fair enough. But tell me this, am I really some kind of monster who hates women? Or am I somebody who simply doesn't want one choice to take away another? Maybe we can reason on this. And by this point, that wall is coming way down. But the idea up front was to hook them by affirming their reason that they hold their position, and then saying, and then coming at them and saying, hey, I love that. I want to control my own life, not yours. And hopefully they will then respond with an accusation. Because at that point, they've committed to the discussion. Then you got them. At that point, it's over. They might as well convert. You might as well give them a Rush Limbaugh T-shirt. I mean, they're practically there. No, I'm serious. At that point, it's too easy. So that's the key. How are you going to hook them? How are you going to get them invested in it? First, take down the wall, be the good guy, which, by the way, I wish the Tea Party in Mississippi were going to do. Sorry, I got to say that again, because I love the Tea Party. I am Tea Party. I want them to win. But then hook them in that way. It really does work real well.